An interesting article I read recently in The Age titled, "Everyone Wants a Piece. Are electric vehicles Australia's opportunity of a lifetime?" It brought up some good points about our local car industry and whether or not it could be resurrected in the future. A lot of people will laugh that off, but is it so far-fetched? I remember seeing the Holden ECommodore concept car at the Melbourne Motor Show back in the year 2000. At the time, I was far more intrigued over its bodywork rather than what powered it. Essentially, it was a regular four-door, but it had a fastback style rear end, similar to that of the Holden Monaro concept, which was released around 18 months later. For those that don't know, back in 2000, the ECommodore hybrid concept developed by Holden and the CSIRO had promised to halve the fuel economy of the then 3.8 litre V6 whilst delivering similar performance. It used a 95 kilowatt 2 litre 4-cylinder engine and a 50 kilowatt electric motor. Its parallel hybrid electric powertrain combined an electric motor powered by supercapacitors and advanced lead-acid batteries. The car used a longer wheelbase from the station wagon and also previewed a revised headlight design which would be adopted on the VX Commodore. Holden and CSIRO engineers focused on reducing the estimated 87% of energy wastage that occurs during normal suburban driving. A hindrance to hybrid and electric vehicles was and still is weight. The ECommodore used plastic side and rear windows, the floor was constructed in aluminium, and other panels were made from carbon fibre and fiberglass. The car also featured a regenerative braking system. Laurie Spark was Holden's head of innovation at the time and led a 2-year collaboration with the CSIRO. Spark said he had one meeting with the Holden board to convince them to keep investing in the hybrid concept, arguing the technology was vital for the company's future success. Their response was, not surprisingly, "Our customers want V8s, they don't want electric cars," he said. Holden's decision makers may have been right at the time. If you'd like to see this car in person, I believe the VT is still currently part of the National Motor Museum's collection in Burwood, South Australia. But this wasn't the only EV concept that Holden came up with. Over 10 years later, in 2011, the VE concept was born, using 300 kilograms of lithium-ion battery cells mounted in the engine bay and trans tunnel, with everything else residing where the factory fuel tank was. It was powered by a 145 kilowatt 400 Newton meter electric motor matched to a Borg-Warner electric single ratio gearbox and differential, with a range of around 160 kilometres. While neither of these were ever intended on going into production, it begs the question, with the now demise of Holden and all local car manufacturing, is there an avenue that Australia can exploit in terms of electric vehicles? Now, we know that many people don't like EVs, and that's fine. They only made up 3% of new car sales last year, but the reality is that a lot of current ICE owners will buy one in the next decade. So there is opportunity for Australia to flourish from it. The Age writes, while local EV companies may have struggled, booming EV sales elsewhere are quickly becoming an important economic driver for Australia. Exports of the minerals they use, like copper, nickel and lithium, were worth $22 billion last year and forecast to hit $33 billion this year. Almost all of that is shipped offshore. Australia produces 55% of the world's lithium, 6% of nickel and cobalt, the raw materials needed to make batteries. China dominates the EV battery value chain and processes 97% of Australia's lithium, while making 75% of the world's battery cells. Robin Denholm, the Australian-born chair of the world's biggest EV maker in Tesla, says the company is on track to spend more than $1 billion a year on lithium, nickel and other metals mined in Australia. Rather than just digging up minerals and watching others get rich with them, she says Australia should drive the dawn of a new industry further up the value chain. Denholm makes a valid point in that EV manufacturers could build components here and create thousands of highly skilled jobs, but making that a reality is another thing. Can the country move beyond mining to the complex business of refining ores into battery-ready chemicals? While local manufacturing is happening right now, there is nowhere near enough battery capacity to meet future EV demand. Will the next decade restore some of the highly skilled jobs that were lost when the local auto industry finished up? Let us know your thoughts below.